The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley agrees with a prediction that was made that Oleksandr Usyk will beat Anthony Joshua for his heavyweight titles in 2020. Yeah, I'm just going to... G, you saw the video, you saw the clip. What was your reaction to Timothy Fanboy Bradley?
Because I believe I know what Trill's going to respond to, so I'm going to bring it from another perspective. What I don't like, I'm being honest, what I don't like about this is I feel like this is just, hey, Timothy Bradley, you work for us, so you have to just advocate for anything we say. And I honestly believe ESPN, their core audience or the target market that they're going after is European and Eastern European like fighters. That's like the fans that they're seeking after. So it makes sense for ESPN / Top Rank to be like, oh yeah, yo, Usyk's gonna beat Anthony Joshua. It's like, really, bro? Like, how can you even? To me, it doesn't even make sense. But to see Timothy Bradley co-sign that with such confidence, how he did it.
Let's be real.
Yeah. Yo, him type sound like dolphins, bro. You know what I mean? So it's just crazy to me that Timmy could. Man, I don't want to be disrespectful, but what we say at the podcast,
Fanboy
Samantha. Like I feel like he's the guy that they bring in to just say outrageous things, and they know he's gonna do it because he's getting that check. I feel bad for Andre Ward for having to always be around this guy, to be honest.
All right, well, I guess there's nothing left to do but Trill.
I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Fanboy Bradley, you did it again. I thought my rant a couple weeks ago, I would never have to do another rant like that again, Fanboy Bradley. But, you know, what they do over there at Top Rank, they gave you more drinks. They say, give Timmy a drink. You know what I'm saying?
One more, Timmy, ready to go.
Timmy's our boy. That's what they said over there. Timmy's our boy. We'll set him out there. You know? Timmy, you're losing your mind over there. You don't look happy. You know what I'm saying? First of all, Timmy, when you started clapping like... No man should clap like that, first of all. But no. Stop it, Timmy. Yes, pound it, dog. Like, listen, y'all have to go back and see this. You have, if it was like this. Pound it. It was horrible. And Andre Ward is like looking at you guys like, are you serious? Poor Andre Ward.
Thanks.
He had to sit there at that table and listen to this. Timmy, I understand that you work for somebody. You know what I'm saying? I have a cousin that works at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? No, for real. I have a cousin that works at McDonald's. But when somebody goes to Wendy's, one of our family members goes to Wendy's, he's not dissing them. He's not dissing Wendy's. He was like, oh, you know their burgers ain't like our burgers. They don't got the special sauce on there. You know what I'm saying? Timmy, you can do a job. You can work for somebody and do a job without being a fanboy. Like your predictions when you told all the other guys before to pull their big pants up and all that, you was being disrespectful then. Now you're being disrespectful now, saying that a cruiserweight is going to beat the two-time world champion and
the unified two-time world champion.
Jay, this is crazy. This is crazy. And then you're Samantha, you're clapping like, yo, this is crazy. I think like if anything, somebody that's seeing this, they need to pull Terry to the side because either there's a problem with alcoholism. Or this is Timmy just is really not happy. Or somebody needs, this is ridiculous.
He got excited with an untested cruiserweight about to take over and defeat
Anthony
Joshua.
Excited.
And got excited. I'm like,
listen, a grown man.
I have to.
A grown man started clapping like
He's
that.
getting paid to do that. There's no way in his right mind he thinks.
Yo, I don't know.
No, not like that.
I don't know.
Not like that. Not like you seen the expression.
The hate levels on Super Saiyan mode.
Yo, look at his face. You could definitely tell. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say, well, you can't definitely tell. That's me being
Speculating.
I'm speculating. I know people that that sip the sauce a little bit.
He got the wino face.
He has the wino face, and he clapped like this. Fellas, help me. I'm done, Fanboy Bradley.
With the flickety wrist paw.
Yo, Timmy. Pound it.
And then he dapped him again.
Yeah.
And after that, he dapped him again.
He didn't give him a solid.
Right.
He was like,
So I just want to start off. I want to start off by saying this, and I'm not, trying to disrespect anyone, but I've heard a lot of reporting as Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward. I just want to clarify for the people: there was no and Andre Ward. It was all Timothy Bradley. Andre Ward makes a face and he's like, "What?"
he said, "Come on."
And then he goes, "You're gonna give him the championship already?" And it was Timothy Bradley and someone else pounding it out. Andre Ward's face is like this.
He said, "Come on."
When they're talking, and then when he asked who's gonna beat him, he said, "Who's gonna beat him?" And then Timothy Bradley goes, "Alexander Usyk," and he goes,
"Come on."
And he's just nodding his head like one of those. All right. But this is what happens when you sit next to a clown. This is why people tell you not to argue with fools.
Yeah.
Right? And Andre Ward is sitting next to a fool. So now the internet people who put out content on boxing are associating Timothy Bradley's prediction with Andre Ward. They're saying Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward predict Alexander Usyk's going to beat Anthony Joshua. When if you watch that clip, Andre Ward's not agreeing. Andre Ward doesn't agree. He just can't really say much. You can see he's holding his lips together like.
I see what we're doing here.
He's like, clearly I didn't read the ESPN memo.
Yeah, I didn't get the email from.
So now that I had to clear my man Andre Ward because that's my man. Listen, let me just let y'all know something right now. Alexander Usyk was the undisputed cruiserweight champion, no doubt about it. I mean, his biggest win was an old Tony Bellew. We want to call out Deontay Wilder for taking out Luis, King Kong Ortiz at 57. Well, Bellew was already on the way out. When he beat Tony Bellew.
He was already out. He came back out of retirement.
Let's be real about it.
He came out of retirement.
Tony Bellew. That's what it was. Tony Bellew done already took a whooping from Adonis.
He was already took some.
Adonis already whooped Tony Bellew. Okay, Adonis Creed whooped him. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? Ask Mason Dixon. Once you make a Rocky movie and you go back to your career, you're never the same. Antonio Tarver, Tony Bellew, Rocky done whooped Antonio Tarver, and Michael B. Jordan whooped on Tony Bellew. Never the same. All jokes aside, I mean, that's what it's really coming to. He beat a retired movie star. That's who he beat. So you can give Alexander Usyk credit for that. Fine. Right? Cool. Let's give him credit for that. When he went up to heavyweight, his only heavyweight fight, who did he beat? Chaz Witherspoon. I haven't seen Chaz for years.
Chaz looked good.
You know what they said?
The whole time we was talking about it, we said how Chaz looked good.
Where they find Chaz at? What couch did they pluck him from to go fight Alexander Usyk? And it wasn't like Alexander Usyk steamrolled Chaz Witherspoon. He was out of shape. He had 2 weeks. I don't know how long he had to prepare for the fight, but I just know in his corner he was just. They were like, Chaz, you can get up out there, Chaz. Chaz, get paid. The check clear. This fight's over. So he beat an out of shape Chaz Witherspoon. So out of shape Chaz Witherspoon, I'm gonna be real. As much slack as I give Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz is way better than Chaz Witherspoon. Are you kidding me? Andy Ruiz can show up 383 pounds and still beat Alexander Usyk. This is what we do. We're hyping this man up. This man already got a title shot. He's more unproven in the heavyweight division than Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter has proven more in the heavyweight division than Alexander Usyk. Oh, but he beat him in cruiserweight, so y'all want to. I can tell you today that I would pick Alexander Usyk over Michael Hunter if they fought this Saturday. I don't know if I would pick him. I don't know Alexander Usyk could beat Alexander Povetkin. I don't know that. But I at least know Michael Hunter can draw with him. They just give certain fighters this credibility that they don't have to earn, and I wonder why. I wonder why Alexander. I'm not going there, guys. I'm making a point. I don't need any. I got mine the way I want to do it. I wonder why Alexander Usyk just gets all this credibility and that he doesn't have to prove. It's just a given. He deserves a title shot. He doesn't have to fight any heavyweights. It's just automatically assumed he beat Alexander Povetkin. He beat this guy. But we'll have to have Michael Hunter prove himself. We have to have other guys prove themselves. And even Dillian White, even when these guys do all that, they still don't get the treatment that Alexander Usyk can get as soon as he moves up. I just wonder why that is. If you don't wonder why, then fine. But to me, it's just weird. It just seems like something's not right. It seems like one person's getting preferential treatment. And then you have a guy, forget Michael Hunter, you have a guy who's beating the likes of Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, beat Vladimir Klitschko, right? Beat Andy Ruiz, beat Dillian White, beat a who's of the top 10. And you're saying this guy who beat no one can beat him? And why?
Listen.
And why?
That's crazy.
Yo, and honestly, I would even argue that Joseph Parker is probably, if not close to the athleticism of Alexander Usyk. And when he fought Anthony Joshua, he had no solution.
Yo, why?
At the end of the day,
why is it? Joseph Parker would beat the crap out of Alexander Usyk. Like, let's be real.
And Parker had no answers.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
Yo, Andy Ruiz would knock out Alexander Usyk. Listen, if you want to be real, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be as real as I can be. Like, I'm going to be 100% real. Deontay Wilder would body him. Deontay Wilder flatlines Alexander Usyk.
This earns a...
I'm gonna be real, bro. Like I already told you that. Like let's be real. Deontay Wilder would knock him out. Tyson Fury would box circles around him. Anthony Joshua would knock him out. I hate when people do this. Oh, he could outbox Andy Ruiz, but he couldn't outbox Alexander Usyk. That's what I heard one of those idiots say. Well, can Alexander Usyk take them right hands that Andy Ruiz took? Nope. Can he? Because Chaz Witherspoon looked like he shook him up a little bit to me. So if Chaz is giving you a hard time, how you beating Anthony Joshua? If Chaz is going rounds with you, how you beating Joseph Parker? Like, come on, man. Like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. If you want to be biased, if you want to give people credibility that they don't deserve, that's one thing, man. But stop slandering people's names. You want to sit there and then let's get to the topic, Timothy Bradley.
First of all, I just want to, before you go.
No, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say this real quick because it's something that you said. I just want to, and it's disturbing that the guy with the better resume over there is not there pound for pound over there. At Top Rank, the guy with the best, even though his resume ain't better than the other welterweights, he has the better out of all the Top Rank fighters. TC has the better resume than their number one guy at Top Rank and their number two guys. You know what I'm saying? If you look at ESPN, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got Lomachenko number one. But the guy with the best resume over there is TC. Because I was just thinking about what you said, I was like, yo, you're absolutely right, yo. This is crazy. But I'm not speculating. I'm just saying, why is that?
I'm saying, logically, because I feel like it's more effective when you have people explain to you why that is than you saying something or you pushing something. I just want people to ask themselves why a circle of people are saying an untested commodity can beat the most proven commodity we have in a division. When they're saying a guy who's had one heavyweight fight against low-tier opposition. I mean, if Wilder fought Chaz Witherspoon, I'd be the first one up here ripping him a new one, calling him all types of cowards, right? If Deontay Wilder fought Chaz Witherspoon, that's the opponent who Alexander Usyk fought. and struggled with, if we want to be real about it, was not impressed at all. But the most proven commodity we have in the heavyweight division is Anthony Joshua. He's the one who's fought a who's who of the heavyweight division. He's the only unified heavyweight champion in the division. He's the two-time heavyweight champion, one of 4 men to ever regain the title back in an immediate rematch, and we just disrespect him for a guy with 1 heavyweight fight. Why is that? Be real with yourself. Now, to go at Timothy Bradley, I could do all that, but I'll just say this: shame on you, dog. Shame on you. Shame on you, man. You've let, I don't know what it is, envy, money, I don't know what it is that's gotten inside of Timothy Bradley that he's just decided he's going to hate on some folks and fantasize and fanboy for others. Do you get a percentage of their fight? I mean, I don't know what it is about Timothy Bradley, but I would say this: don't burn bridges, Timothy, because I remember Antonio Tarver was calling fights until he wasn't. Right? I remember George Foreman was calling fights. But George Foreman, in his case, I think he left on his own. But I say this to say, you're not the first fighter to call fights. You won't be the last. But people do get fired. People do lose their jobs. And Timothy Bradley, you are not good at your job. You're not very intelligent. You're not very articulate. You're too emotional. And I don't like listening to you. Like, I like listening to Paulie. I don't always agree with Paulie, but I like listening to Paulie. I like listening to Sergio. I like listening to Roy when he was doing it. I like listening to certain folks. Like, I like Bernard Hopkins, but I didn't always like to hear Bernard Hopkins call a fight. And I think it shows he doesn't really call fights anymore. I don't like listening to Ray Leonard. But, Timothy, you're not really that good at your job. And you are at risk of getting fired. And when you do, I know the Zone won't hire you. I know PBC won't hire you. You can't just go all in for one company. Because, like, if someone worked at McDonald's and they went in all in for McDonald's, disrespecting Wendy's, disrespecting Burger King, you know how to make burgers. That's what you know how to do. So your skills would translate to Wendy's, would translate to Burger King. But if you crap on them so much, McDonald's fires you, you're out of options now. Why would Wendy's hire you after you crap on them so much? Why would even the guy, the Verizon man, is doing commercials for like T-Mobile now? Remember the Verizon man? Like, we got the best. Even he's doing commercials for T-Mobile now. You know why? Life changes, man. Watch yourself, cause karma's a.
You already. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our podcast on all major streaming platforms. It's the Boxing Bros.
They probably gonna tell you Oleksandr Usyk could beat Mike Tyson in his prime.
That's
the next thing they gonna say. That's the next thing.
That's the next thing.
That's the next thing.